In the first half of 2026, the best performing stock in the S&P 500 wasn't NVIDIA. It wasn't Palantir. It was a memory company. SanDisk, up over 700% in 6 months. Micron, up around 300%. The most boring corner of the chip industry minted fortunes. But here's the uncomfortable rule of every supercycle. By the time everyone is talking about it, the easy money has already been made. So the smart question isn't, should I chase memory today? It's, where does the money go next? In the next 8 minutes, we are going to talk about 3 trends and the small companies hiding inside them.
Why did it happen? AI data centers devour memory. Every AI server needs high bandwidth memory stacked right next to the GPU, and oceans of NAND flash to store the data. Supply simply couldn't keep up. Gartner expects NAND prices to jump over 200% in 2026 alone, with no real relief until late 2027. SanDisk's data center revenue grew more than 600% in a single quarter. Since spinning off from Western Digital in early 2025, the stock is up over 5,000%. So, is memory over? No, the shortage is real. But notice something. SanDisk recently dropped almost 30% from its high on nothing but profit-taking. When a stock needs perfection just to hold its price, the crowd has arrived. And markets pay you for being early, not for being right together with everyone else.
Here's the pattern of this entire AI boom. 2023, the bottleneck was GPUs. NVIDIA repriced. 2024 and 25, the bottleneck moved to memory. SanDisk and Micron repriced. Bottlenecks don't disappear, they migrate. And right now, 3 new ones are forming. Moving data, that's optics. Running AI outside the data center, that's the edge. And powering all of it, that's energy. Chapter by chapter. Chapter 1. Light. Inside an AI data center, chips talk to each other through copper, and copper is hitting a wall. At the speeds modern GPUs demand, electrical signals lose strength, generate heat, and burn absurd amounts of power just moving data a few meters. The answer? Stop pushing electrons. Start sending light. It's called silicon photonics, and 2026 is the year it goes commercial. NVIDIA's new photonics switches, where the optics are packaged directly onto the chip, started shipping this year, cutting network power several times over. NVIDIA's own words, co-packaged optics are not optional. They're a structural requirement for future AI factories. Microsoft, Meta, and Oracle are already first adopters. The big names, Broadcom, Marvell, Coherent, Lumentum, are the safe way in. But the asymmetric bets live lower down. POET Technologies, a tiny company with an optical interposer that fuses photonics and electronics on one chip, now with purchase orders tied into Marvell's ecosystem. Lightwave Logic, exotic polymer materials that make light modulators faster and cheaper, now baked into GlobalFoundries chip design kits. Both are early, both are risky, and both have already jumped 100 to 300% this year, which tells you the market is starting to sniff this out. The bet is whether 2027 revenue justifies it.
Chapter 2. The Edge. Today, almost every AI answer you get is computed in a giant data center far away. That's expensive, slow, and a privacy nightmare. So intelligence is migrating out into phones, cars, glasses, watches, robots, factory sensors. That's edge AI. And the constraint out here isn't billions of dollars, it's milliwatts. A data center gets a power plant. A smartwatch gets a battery the size of a coin. Whoever runs AI on almost no power wins the edge. The giants are obvious.
Qualcomm, NVIDIA's Jetson robotics platform, Ambarella in cameras and cars. The interesting stuff is smaller. AMBQ, IPO'd mid-2025 at $24, designs chips so efficient they run neural networks on a wearable for days per charge. Revenue up 59% year over year. More than 80% of shipped chips now running AI, but still unprofitable, still tiny, still dependent on a handful of customers. That's the risk you're paid for. And then there's the radical path, computing inside memory itself, so data never has to move at all. Companies like GSI Technology are betting the whole architecture flips, which is the beautiful irony. The trend after memory might be memory that thinks.
Chapter 3. Energy. The one bottleneck you can't engineer your way around quickly. The International Energy Agency projects data center electricity demand will roughly double by 2030 to about 950 terawatt hours. That is the entire annual electricity consumption of Japan, just for data centers. Grid connection queues are now measured in years. In some regions, power, not chips, decides where AI gets built. Money is already flooding the obvious layer. Vertiv in cooling, GE Vernova in turbines, Constellation in nuclear, Oklo in small modular reactors. Most have repriced hard. So where's the unrepriced edge? Deeper in the stack. Advanced nuclear fuel. Companies like Lightbridge developing next-generation fuel rods that squeeze more out of every reactor. Or power conversion itself. Every watt entering a data center gets converted multiple times, losing energy at each step. Small companies like Ideal Power claim semiconductor switches that cut those losses. Fair warning, these are the most speculative names in this entire video, years from real scale, living on milestones and dilution. But that's exactly what early looks like.
So where does the money actually go? Follow the sequence. First, it flows to the infrastructure everyone can see. That already happened. Then it flows to the enablers hiding one layer down. Optics, edge silicon, power, that's now. The honest framework? Anchor with large caps that already win. Then, only with money you can afford to lose, add option-sized positions in the small names. Because for every 10-bagger, several go to zero. Small position, long timeline, thesis written down, and a trigger that tells you when you're wrong. Memory was the last chapter. Light, the edge, and energy are the next one, and it's being written right now. Nothing here is financial advice. These are ideas to research, not orders to buy. So tell me in the comments, which chapter would you bet on? Optics, edge, or energy? And if this helped, don't forget to subscribe. See you next time.